providing for what's everyone calling a slush, this disgusting slush that you see right now. And this is what you're dealing with. I just walked here across the street from the scene, and you're dealing with this stuff that's like on every single street and every single road. And so I just walked across here, and really there's slush about this high. Even if you have snow boots on, it can go inside of those snow boots. 5 to 8 inches of snow so far. It's turning into an icy mix, and they believe it's going to get more ice. Possibly a little bit later on this evening, and get as much as 11 to 15 inches of snow. The big issue here, of course, has been transportation, people getting around. According to the mayor says that the sanitation department, the people who plow the streets, sand the streets, that they got a really good start at it overnight and then this morning. But then the rush hour came, and people were out on the roads, and the sanitation department couldn't get to it. That caused some problems for getting around. Also, you know, this is a big transportation hub. So the airports are experiencing delays, experiencing cancellations. Kennedy, Newark, LaGuardia, all experiencing some cancellations and some delays. Amtrak as well, a big hub for that northeast corridor going up and down from Boston all the way down to Washington, D.C. So there are issues there. And then a big issue with the schools. Well, the schools have only been closed 11 times since 1978. The mayor did not close them this morning, and he is getting, you know, a little bit of pain, some folks here. What you're hearing now, I don't know if you can hear that noise, those are plow trucks going right here around Columbus Circle, and also there are salt trucks earlier. Earlier was a little bit of a scare as I was walking over. I don't know if you heard it on Ashley Banfield's live shot. One of those little plow trucks on the sidewalks, a little Bobcat, started backfiring, and everybody in New York City started ducking because they weren't sure what it was. So a little bit of a chaos here when it comes to that. But really, they're urging people here to stay off the roads. But most people, this is New York City, Wolf, you know, they went about their business. They may complain about it, but these are New Yorkers. They're a hardy bunch.
Why didn't the mayor close the schools today?
Well, but he said that the storm came in a lot faster and a lot earlier than they thought. He said, listen, this is a snowstorm in New York City. This is the Northeast. This is winter. This is what people deal with here. This is not Atlanta, where people are not used to these sorts of conditions. It did come in faster than people thought. It may have been a little bit, you know, there was more snow. But this is an out of the ordinary, an extraordinary weather event for the Northeast. I mean, Wolf, you live in Washington, D.C. We have snowstorms every year. The last one I remember that was even close to this, not even close to this, was back in 1996 when we had snow piled up to here. That's a big snowstorm. 12 inches, not that bad. This, as I said, it's Northeast, it's winter. This is what happens.
Yeah, well, here in Washington, Don, we're going to have more on this part of the story later. If it even looks like it's going to start snowing, they close the schools in D.C., Northern Virginia, Maryland. They don't wait. They just close right away. All right, Don, stand by. I know it's cold out there. We're going to come back to you. I want to go to Erin McPike right now. She's here in Washington on the National Mall.
It's taken care of.
Storm has
They should be happy.
the nation's capital really into it.
Yeah, and $300 more on my credit card, and I can hardly. I'm almost topped out. Okay.
I know.
I tried very hard to get that credit card down using my savings.
Even is canceled, and bus service has been suspended until further notice. Now,
I'm noticing that deterioration of everything because of this snowstorm, and at the same time, I have a financial disaster on my hands. With no money, this is awful.
Has gone out, but we haven't seen this road, which is right in front of the Capitol, be plowed more than once in the last 6 to 7 hours. So no wonder that so much of the city is really shut down. There's a Starbucks up the road that's been closed all morning too. And I want to spin around a little bit so that you can get a good shot of the mall. We do see people out here on the mall, so this part of the city isn't quite a ghost town, but look at how heavy this snow is. That's why it's been such a dangerous mess out here, and we should be getting a little bit more snow later in the afternoon.
Just what we need, a little bit more snow here in Washington. All right, Aaron, thanks very much. So the storm moving up the East Coast has already forced more than 5,000 flight cancellations today. Renee Marsh is over at Reagan National Airport here in the nation's capital. How bad is this mangled travel situation, Renee?
Well, let's put it like this. A picture speaks for itself. This plane is not going anywhere. It is parked take a walk with me over here. You can see these planes are not going anywhere either. They are parked at the gate, and that will be the case. Here at Reagan National Airport, it looks a lot like what probably many airports in the Northeast look like. Not much activity. Right now, their focus is clearing up the snow from the taxiways as well as from the runways. You can see in the distance there that snow blower trying to get that snow out of the way before they deemed it safe for planes to actually take off and land here. At this point, we're able to get this kind of access because the runways, they are closed here at Reagan. They have been closed since midnight, and they are not ready to reopen them at this point. We do know that Dulles, those runways were closed, but we just got word that those runways have since reopened. Let's give you some numbers. We know that there are more than 6,000 cancellations at this hour. That is a lot. The areas that really getting hit the hardest, we're talking about Atlanta, Charlotte, and Philadelphia. As far as the delays, things don't look good there either. We're talking about more than 3,000, nearly 4,000 delays. So we'll, again, I mean, take it all in. We don't get access like this very often where you just see the planes just sitting there. They are just sitting ducks essentially as crews are trying to clear out all of that snow right by the terminal, because not only is the runway the issue, but you have snow right here. So you have to make sure that when things are up and running, they're able to move those planes. So that's what the focus is. That's where the concentration of the work is at this hour. Wolf?
So you're saying Washington Dulles Airport, they're getting ready to reopen. Looks like the runways have been cleared. What about Reagan National? Any word when that will reopen?
You know, they hoped that they would be able to reopen these runways at around noon. However, not the case. No clear indication as to when they think it's safe. Look, the bottom line is this, well, they want to make sure that it's safe for these planes to land and take off. We actually spoke with the airport's operation manager. We have a little sound from him, and he explains what goes into making that decision, whether to reopen the runways or not. Take a listen.
You have to shut down the runway in order to get it safe. And I say safe, if you have sludge on the runway, you have to get rid of that sludge. If you have ice, because you don't want an airplane sliding off the runway.
All right, so that is the danger here. You know, until they believe that those planes can land without hitting off of the runway, they're not going to take any chances. Well,
Which is smart. Renee is over at Reagan National Airport. Thank you. Let's go to our Jennifer Gray. She's over at the CNN Severe Weather Center in Atlanta. So what do we see for the rest of today? How do we see this storm playing out, Jennifer?
Well, it'll start to taper off later this evening into the overnight, but this was a nasty storm. Some areas north of New York City had snowfall rates of 3 to 4 inches per hour, blizzard-like conditions there. And look at these snowfall totals. 15 inches in Virginia. We had 13 in Philly, 11 in D.C., and 9.5 inches in New York City. Some of these numbers will increase as we go through the day. Still seeing some snow north of New York. It is starting to change over to rain. Same thing for you in Boston. D.C., you are quiet now. Could see more snow develop as we go through the afternoon hours. But mainly rain now pulling into New York City and Boston. This is going to create a very slushy mess. Temperatures will dip below freezing as we go through the overnight hours tonight. And so that is going to be trouble for the morning commute tomorrow. But these are additional snowfall totals, and away from the coast we could see about a foot of snow, additional snowfall as we go through the late evening hours right along the coast. Of course, the totals aren't quite as much along the I-95 corridor. We could see 2 to 4 inches possibly throughout the afternoon. But it's not only the snow, it's also the wind, and this is also adding more stress to those trees and power lines, and this is why we could see more power outages throughout the late afternoon. Sustained winds, 29 miles per hour this afternoon in New York City, gusts up to 45, 44 mile per hour gusts expected in Boston. So look, this is far from over. We're going to continue to see the snow, the rain, and then possibly switching back over to snow as we go through the late evening hours.
All right, Jennifer, thanks very much. We'll stay in close touch with you. Up next, stranded on the roads. We're going to put you in the car for a drive up what is now a treacherous I-95 corridor along the east coast of the United States. And later, outraged at Afghanistan. The country frees dozens of prisoners, some linked to deadly attacks on U.S. troops. So what will this do to the already strained relationship between the United States and Afghanistan?